Hello everyone, this is DarthNoobSlayer bringing you the next episode of Let's Play Knights of the Old Republic. The guy who's right here is no longer there because all the Wookiees rebelled and drove off everyone from Zerg Corporation, which is good. I don't like them. They're all slavers and whatnot. So I now... Ooh. There's a couple Wookiees here to see me off, I believe. Gonna talk to Juhani, see if I can find out any more about her questline thing. Last mission. I think Juhani was in there. Okay, I also need to talk to Carth and HK-47.
How may I be of assistance to you, Padawan?
Well, I was wondering if we could talk.
What is it you would like to speak to me about?
More about your past? Or just tell me what you're thinking about.
I have been thinking much about our journey, and I am grateful and honored that you have accepted me with you. I am not used to such unbiased acceptance from one who is nearly a stranger to me. We KOTOR do not make friends easily, or for long. Even on Dantooine I remained alone. Not ostracized exactly, but separate.
Okay, well, it sounds like it would have been really difficult for you.
Yes, it was. I find it difficult to speak of those things. I do not want to live that way ever again. And here, it seems different. It is warming. I feel almost welcome. Needed. You seem to be very decisive when it is required of you. It is reassuring to know that I can count on someone like you.
Yes. Well... Oh, wow, that's mean. It's, I find it very nice that you hold me in such high regard.
To be accepted so readily, I find it difficult to explain. It is so different from what I'm used to. Just thank you for accepting me.
You're welcome. Anything else you want to talk
How may I
about?
be of assistance?
I was just wondering if we could talk.
What is...
Tell me more about your past.
Well, I suppose I have not talked very much about the Jedi I met back home. They, all of them, were so very invigorating.
What do you mean, invigorating?
They were so very alive, so full of hope and energy and zeal. In retrospect, I can see it was a little bit tragic.
Okay, but what do you mean?
Those Jedi were going to fight the Mandalorians just after they had invaded. Many of those Jedi perished in the fighting, but to us, they seemed invincible. Especially their leader, who they talked about all the time. Paragons of light and justice, sweeping away all iniquity before them. It was like looking at gods.
Well, the Jedi are not gods.
I know that. I was using poetic license. But those Jedi, they were enthralling. Everyone wanted just to touch them. Some people thought it would bring them luck. Not that the peace they brought lasted very long.
Well, yeah, but what happened? Did they leave?
The Jedi left. The people grew complacent. Those who had been wronged saw their chance at revenge. And so the cycle continues. The oppressed become the new generation of oppressors. The human oppressed, that is. The non-humans were never treated well in any case. We felt the brunt of both administrations.
Was it really that bad?
Of course it was. They took their frustrations and hate out on us because the people they wanted had already fled or were too well protected. But no one looks out for the injustices we suffered. Oh no, but I am sorry. I should not have outbursts like that.
That's okay, just as long as you don't let your anger influence you, just stay away from the dark side and we're good.
Don't you see? The very fact I mentioned it means it has its influence. Anger can lead to the dark side, and I must be ever careful that I do not fall back into those ways.
Agreed.
I thank you for your support. My outburst was uncalled for, but you did not lash back at me. You are a much better Jedi than I, it would seem. But let us not speak more of this now. We should continue on our journey. Perhaps later we will talk again.
Sounds good. Journal entry, Juhani. Anything else? Something wrong?
I have been bothered by something of late.
Yes, what is it? I'm trying to get all these quests current. I'm going to also have to talk to Candace and Carth. What is going on?
I never told you where I came from, did I? Where I grew up as a child? I suppose I was trying to deny what I was feeling.
Okay, what do you mean?
I have been wrestling with my feelings inside, trying to come to terms with it, but I find I cannot. I must have someone to blame. Someone to blame for the destruction of my homeworld. Someone who is responsible for the death of everyone I have ever known, except those on Dantooine.
Okay, what do you mean?
Taris. It was Taris that the Sith destroyed to try to kill you and your precious Bastila. Taris, my homeworld.
Okay, I did not know that. I'm so sorry.
If it were not for you and Bastila, the Sith would have never had reason to destroy that world. It was your fault for being there, and your fault for rescuing Bastila. Without your intervention, the Sith would have had no cause to lay waste to my childhood. Just let me vent my anger. I need someone to blame. Something. Anything. I hated that world. Yet everything I learned as a child, I learned there. It is as much a part of me as the air I breathe. I have this ache inside me, where all my childhood memories lay, and I find your face there with them. If it was not for you, that world would still exist.
Technically, but there's no way Dad could have prevented it.
I know. I suppose I realized that. But it is so hard to lose your entire past. You would not understand.
Oh, yeah, but yeah, you'll be alright.
Yes. Yes, I suppose it will. As long as we remain focused on our task, it will. I am sorry. I will try not to distract you in the future with my trivial experiences. We should stop for now.
Alright. See what else we
Yes.
can illuminate this current. Is something wrong?
I was remembering Taris.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. I think I'm over the worst of it. I apologize again for lashing out at you. It was not your fault. It was a horrible place to have to live. At least in the lower cities where the non-humans tended to get relegated. Living for years in a place with no sun, living off the trash dropped from the upper levels, and the meager pay doing back-breaking labor.
How did you survive that?
My family and I struggled each and every day to make something of our lives. But we could only go so far. Taxes from the corrupt government, more fees from the gangs controlling the streets, and whatever was left paying for what food and medical supplies we could afford.
Was it... So no one else would help you?
And of course, there was the constant bigotry and hate from the more affluent and human citizens, lording their wealth over us living below. Every once in a while, a rich human would come down through the lower levels with his droid entourage just to see how the wildlife lived, and laughed at the mockeries that were our successes. But I have come to meet many decent humans in my travels since those days. Indeed, some of the greatest people I have ever met are human.
Like, who?
The Jedi who encouraged me to join the Order. The one who was with the group going to fight the Mandalorians. She was human. I am sorry. I am getting away from my point. If there even was one. Sometimes, I curse the day my parents fled to Taris. But then again, if they had not, I would not be where I am today.
Yeah, but... Wait, where did they flee from?
Another story, for another time. For now, we must continue our own epic. To save the galaxy, if we can.
If we can.
How may I be... What is it you would like?
Tell me more about your past.
Well, I mentioned before that my parents had fled to Taris. Perhaps I can tell you about that.
Perhaps. Please continue.
In the early days of the Mandalorian War, there had been fighting closer to the Outer Rim worlds.
Uh-huh. Is that near the world that your species came from?
KOTOR was there, yes. My people had a great reputation as warriors, and that appealed to the Mandalore version of honor. They sought to test themselves against us, I think. Test themselves by bombing our world, slaughtering my people while they slept or while they ran.
Okay, what? How did it happen?
They swooped down from space across the world, firing at anything that moved. They used ships in space to destroy all orbital facilities and bombard the surface. We did resist, and in spite of their violent attack, we did stave them off for quite a while. But in the end, we were doomed.
What, did the Jedi and Republic not help you?
We were not members of the Republic. KOTOR was beyond the edge of the Republic, in the Outer Rim. And besides, they could not have known. Our interstellar communications were the first things the Mandalores hit. All other short-range communicators were jammed. We were on our own. We knew what was coming. We had fought the Mandalorians in the First War against Exar Kun and the Sith. We knew there would be no mercy for us. The most we could do was pack the few of our people who survived onto what few ships there remained and send them off into space as fast as they could. Most did not make it.
But you survived, right? Well, obviously you survived, but were you around at the time?
My parents carried me as a baby with them and were lucky enough to escape. They fled as far as they were able and eventually settled on Taris. They could stand running no further, I think. But Taris was a horrible choice. Dominated by humans, intolerant of other species, it made everyday life unnecessarily hard.
Yeah, sounds like it. How exactly did you cope?
My father turned to stimulants. He spent much of his time in local bars and dives. But we are warriors. It runs through our blood. And when he was on stims, he became foolish. He let his warrior nature get the best of him. So he would get intoxicated, and he would fight. And finally, one day, he would die.
So you're saying that he died?
Killed by a man who provoked him into a fight and killed him like an animal. I am sorry. I cannot talk about this any longer right now.
I understand.
How may I...
So what happened after your father died?
After my father died, my mother was left to support me alone. A single non-human woman, living in one of the worst, most violent slums on Taris. It was not easy for her.
Sounds like it. What happened?
When my father was killed, it seemed that something in her began to die as well. She worked. She worked as hard as she was able. But over time, she began to waste away. I later learned that she was unable to get enough money to feed both of us, and had to start borrowing from the exchange, a band of cutthroats and smugglers. But even that was not enough. She hid what she was doing from me. She gave most of her food to me so that I would be strong, but she herself was suffering deeply from it. In the end, she could go on no longer, and collapsed at the cantina where she worked one day.
Did she die? What did you do for her?
She never recovered. There was nothing really that I could do for her. She left me no money, and no doctor would see her without being paid first. I sat by her bed for days as she lay there dying. I never want that to happen to someone I care about ever again. But there was still the money she had borrowed. She had never paid it back and made no provisions for her death. You must understand. The exchange is brutal. They care nothing for the life of a sentient being. They are the major suppliers of slaves on Taris.
Well, Are you saying they captured you?
They thought it would be appropriate that, with my mother owing them money, the debt should be passed on to me. And with no way to pay, they took me by force. You have no idea what it is like to be bound like a beast and treated as such. It was the worst time of my life. They
Sounds like
treated me
it.
like livestock. They were waiting for a buyer to give them some credits for me when the Jedi came to fight the Mandalorians.
So did they free you?
The Jedi could not abide by what they saw there, and drove the exchange from the face of the world, freeing those of us imprisoned there. But the Jedi soon left to fight their war, and I was left with a dream.
But what? Well, dream. What was the dream?
I swore that I would become a Jedi. As soon as I had enough money to do it, I bought passage on a freighter headed for Dantooine, and we both know what has happened since then.
So you basically became a Jedi all on your own.
I am grateful to you for having given me the opportunity to fulfill my dream, rather than become what I hated. Someday, I may make it up to you. But for now, let us keep on the task at hand.
I agree.
How may I be...
Can we talk?
What is it you...
Okay, we're current with Juhani.
Of course.
Okay, Juhani is current. Now it's Carth and HK-47. Let's do HK-47. He should be more... Oh, and Tandarus.
Statement. HK-47 is ready to serve, Master.
Okay, well, you... No, not that. You don't need to call me Master, you know.
Query. Don't I? I was under the assumption that organic meatbags such as yourself enjoyed such forms of address.
Organic meat badge?
Retraction. Did I say that out loud? I apologize, Master. While you are a meatbag, I suppose I should not call you such.
Yes, and you just did me that again.
Explanation. It's just that you have all these squishy parts, Master, and all that water. How the constant sloshing doesn't drive you mad, I have no idea.
Well, there is no sloshing because there's no air for it to slosh around. Okay. Neither do I, come to think of it.
Statement. Now do you understand the travails of my existence, Master? Surely it does not compare to your existence, but still.
Yeah, I survived somehow.
Commentary. As do I. It is our lot in life, I suppose, Master. Shall we find something to kill to cheer ourselves up? Statement.
I'd like to try restoring some of your memory.
Affirmative. If you believe your skills are up to the task, Master, then I can certainly guide you through the process. Request.
Let's get started.
Statement. No. This is no good, Master. You have nearly detonated my thermal core 3 times in a matter of minutes. Supplication. Perhaps it would be best if you desisted your efforts for the moment, Master. This seems to be going nowhere.
I want to try this again.
Statement. As you wish, Master. The first stage is the simple one. What are you doing? Remove the arc wrench! Remove the arc wrench! Medic! Supplication. Perhaps it would be...
Yes, we'll try this later.
As you desire, Master. I cannot help but claim a small amount of relief. Signing off.
I have no repair skills whatsoever. Darn it! And I'll conclude this episode. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.